Look up the word crazy in the dictionary and you might just find an asterisk beside the definition that says, listen to the Subiquitous podcast featuring Sue Duffield and you'll find out what crazy means. Sue's travelogue journey of unfiltered stories, impossible miracles, and faith-filled fun will be revisited right here. So buckle up and let's get going with this humorous travelogue of an unfiltered saint, Subiquitous.
Modern technology at its best.
Yes, it is.
And Jeff Duffield is cooking for himself.
I am, successfully, I think. We'll find out in a few moments.
So you made yourself one of my favorite dishes I make for you called Crescent chicken.
That's right.
And we should probably tell people how you made that.
Well, it involves crescent rolls by Pillsbury.
Mm-hmm.
It involves chicken. And according to what you told me, see if I did this right, I took 2 breasts of chicken, boiled them in a pot, of course, on the stove.
That's right.
Took a stick of not cottage cheese. What's wrong with cream cheese?
You've always had a mental block to that.
I know. Yeah, tell me about it. It's because my mother used to try and make me eat cottage cheese. So cream cheese, Philly cream cheese. And take about 2/3 of that.
Yes.
Drain the water out. Cut the chicken up into small pieces. Put the chicken back in the pot. Put the cream cheese in there. Stir it all up and make a batter or a paste, as you call it.
Right.
And then take 2 triangles of the crescent chicken. Put the stuff in there. Roll it all together. And twist about 3 times or whatever. And then bake for 15 minutes.
It looks lovely. I mean, it looks like
they do. They do. Well, you told me how to do it, and you're a good cook, so.
I'm not that great a cook.
Yes, you are.
I think we saw that one time. Our friend Dawn saw that one time on a Pillsbury advertisement.
Okay.
On one of their packages, but I have never seen it. Ever. I've never saw. I didn't even know it existed, this crescent chicken thing.
I just know that you've made it. I don't know how long you've been making it. It's been a while.
Our kids used to love it.
Our daughter makes it.
Does she make it? Oh.
Yeah, she's made it for us, remember?
That's right. We used to call it pocket chicken.
Okay.
Chicken in a pocket.
I know you made it before Doug and Annie got married and they came over to the house one night. And Doug scarfed it up.
Yeah, he likes it. I'm surprised.
It's very tasty. So let's get this done because they're sitting over there cooling and I'm hungry.
Well, thank you for tuning in to the Ubiquitous Podcast culinary show with Jeff Duffield.
We probably should explain the way we're doing this podcast is that you are away.
I'm at Tuscarora Inn right now as I speak up in Mount Bethel, Pennsylvania.
And I'm in the worldwide headquarters of Jeff and Sue Productions.
That's right.
In Nashville,
otherwise
Tennessee.
known as Couch to Kitchen.
As otherwise known as our apartment. That's where I am. So we're talking over the miles.
We are. Well, today's guest host, is Mary Anne Oglesby-Sutherly. And I thought it would be kind of fun for us to just talk about her before we have her on. Let's just talk bad about her for a minute.
Well, she was somebody dumped a bunch of Depends in her office today. I didn't quite get that message.
Well,
I was afraid to ask what it really meant.
Well, Mary Anne is also, and we've had her on as a guest before on the Subiquitous Podcast, and it was one of our highest rated downloads. It was a good one. Yeah. Loved Mary Anne, and it's so great to have her back again today. But before she comes on, I just want to say this woman is a nut. And
that's a bit of the pot calling the kettle black there, but that's okay.
But I always tell our listeners to check out the Veranda Ministries in Gallatin, Tennessee, and you'll see the incredible works that she does. So in the meantime, Jeffrey, while we continue to converse, you're going to be consuming mass quantities of Crescent chicken.
Well, you're going to be conversing. I'm going to be eating.
That's what I said while I'm conversing.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Well, maybe I didn't say that. Maybe I was thinking about the chicken too.
I don't know. our internet's connection, as
it
sometimes goes in and out. So,
all right, have a lovely night.
So am I done now?
You're done.
I hear a bell ringing for dinner somewhere.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye. You got a delivery today. What did you get in your office?
God, you're not going to believe this. I got cases of Depends. Literally, they covered my entire office floor. They were 4 foot high. I walked in and went, holy mackerel. Where did all these come from? There were different sizes, different colors. I'm just telling you, I could not even walk in there. I've never had somebody just dump Depends everywhere, but they did. Yeah.
And so that was a gift
to me.
I was going to say, what a great gift to Veranda Ministries, right?
I'm telling you, and I'm going to make hats out of them. I've decided when life gives you lemons, you're going to make lemonade. So when life gives me Depends, I'm fixing to figure out how to market something of value with all of those.
You got to do something with it. There's no doubt.
I'm going to give Jeff,
word.
your adorable little husband, I'm going to let him have the first one.
Well, I got to tell you this. I think I hope I told you this, but the last time you were on this podcast with me, we got the highest downloads we have got in a year and a half with you being on, and it was just, well, I still have people that will tell me that was the funniest, but yet the most informative and the most heartfelt episode. And so I knew it was going to be that way. I knew it was.
I know. I mean, we're just kindred spirits. Then you just, you get our age. I turned 65 last week. It was I don't know. It was a sobering moment, to say the least, because when you open the mail and you've received all this advantage stuff forever, and you finally get something from the Social Security office and you think, this is going to tell me how much money I'm going to get when I retire. And there was that Medicare card. I said, oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. It's for real. The government knows I'm old too. I am one of those people that I have been an advocate for years. I am one now.
What does that do to you? I mean, seriously, when you think about the advocacy and the training and all that you've done, and now you are them.
I am them. I know. And that's what I said. It's almost like you sometimes have to take a different view of what you say, because I've always said I've spoken in terms of I wasn't a part of them. I was somebody separate from them, but now I am in that group. I am in that group to where if by some reason I ended up in a long-term care community, my family couldn't come see me because I'm that age.
Yeah.
When they can tell me what I can and cannot do. It's weird.
Speaking of, since we've talked the last time, you have had so many interesting developments too at the Veranda. And then, of course, your speaking and your advocacy when you're out on the road and you're speaking and singing and doing what you do, Marianne. I'm telling you, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about you and what you're doing and how it's so needed. Again, I know we've said this before, but so needed in our world that just so closes the door. If you're elderly or if you have any kind of a brain that doesn't work right, you're just not wanted.
I appreciate that. I think that, I don't know, maybe it's because God prepared me to be this person in this. I've been an advocate for so long. Now I am one. And he's saying, sometimes I have to go, okay, God, so what do I do now? I am one. I am in that population that's considered aging. We all are aging, but still we're in that group. We're 65 and above. And, I don't feel that way. I don't think I act that way.
No.
And yet I want to be like them. They're kind of like heroes. I want to have lived life the best I could. And yet in these last years that I have, I want it to be worthwhile for myself, but for others as well. And I'll tell you, today we had music at the veranda. And so you know how it is when that takes place. You never know. Well, Mary from Virginia was sitting there, and my question was this. We're talking about Thanksgiving, and I said, so I'm just going to ask y'all a question. I said, we're going to talk about what is it about the Lord that we love the most? What is it about the Lord that we love the most? So I went around the room and I said, Miss Mary, what is it about the Lord that you love the most? She goes, well, what's there not to love?
Oh, my.
Something so simple. And everybody just went, well, all right. What do you say to that? Yeah. What is there not to love?
And think how current that statement is.
Yeah.
That's coming from a generation that kind of uses that kind
92 years old.
Yeah.
92.
Yeah.
I know. Well, what's there not to love?
What's just not so to simple. Love?
What's not to love? No, I don't know. Will I make it to 92 or 4? I don't know. But I know this. Hey, we've had good lives. And that's the part of advocacy that I love, is that they have a chance to have a good life, whatever is handed to them. I've been blessed. I'm healthy so far. You're healthy so far. I mean, we're in that demographics. Maybe we'll just make a change and they're all going to be like us. We're going to set a new trend.
We can be the poster children.
We're going to be the poster girls. Oh, Lord help us. We'll have to call Megan for sure.
Megan, by the way, for those of you listening, the great Megan Clark makes every woman, that when they talk about the paint on the barn and all that kind of goofy stuff.
Yeah.
She made me look better than I deserve for television recently, and she's just one of our dear friends. And
I know she's just amazing. Really good at it. She's wonderful to the veranda as well, and she's come and done makeovers for all the ladies. But she said something that was really funny. Here we are. We're older, and she said, we're talking about our eyebrows,
Yeah.
And how everybody just gets so messed up trying to get their eyes. She goes, just remember this. Your eyebrows are sisters. In other words, they're not supposed to be the same.
Oh.
Everybody's eyebrows are different. They're just sisters. They're not the same. They're not. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. We're just sisters, so they can be crooked and it doesn't matter. Oh, gosh. But anyway, you know what? I want to laugh, as I think that's the part that's missing, is that we have to learn to laugh.
Oh,
all of this.
Absolutely. Well, I think I told you this the last time. Jeff and I started singing out for all the youth meetings, and now we're doing all the senior events, but we're still singing to the same people.
It's the truth. It only takes a spark to get a fire going. I could remember when that song come out and it tore up all the churches because it was so contemporary. And then we said, I'm telling you, I just, it only takes a spark to get a fire going. I think that's one of the greatest lyrics ever. I think, what does that really have to do?
I don't know, but
pass it on. Pass that fire on.
Oh, man. Oh,
but anyway.
So you're keeping busy, and have you seen any difference at all with any kind of what am I trying to say? I guess more of an ease as we got out of that horrific year last year. Is there any easier ways that are happening? Anything?
Yes. It's weird because I don't seem to think of it. The clients, of course, that have dementia, they don't even realize what COVID is. So that's a blessing They're not even fearful. That's one of those things where you find a blessing in the midst of it.
Oh,
They didn't know to be afraid of whatever this was everyone was talking about. They didn't understand COVID, the majority of them. They understood the shots. They understood that it made, but to say they had great fear of a virus, they did not. They didn't. Um,
yeah.
Unlike us, who are supposed to have healthy brains, we all panicked, and and rightfully so. I'm not saying that was wrong, but for them, they just didn't understand why life was different.
Right. That's right.
And so, but we've done well, and we've had new people. It was pretty interesting too that the people that have been at home this whole entire time, that we thought, even that's the best place to be instead of being in a long-term care community where you didn't get to see your loved ones, which was horrible, and then it was a no-win for everyone.
Right.
The families that their loved ones were at home was a different set of oh no's.
Yeah.
It was like when they came in and they had been shut up in their home, they had no outside contact with anyone but their loved one.
Right.
So that relationship that they could have in a long-term care with 2 or 3 different people inside the building, that was one-on-one.
Yeah.
And so the attitudes were totally different between a husband and a wife, or a mother and her daughter. It was, God bless them. Some of them was, we're getting the shots, we're coming, we're getting them, we're doing what we have to.
That's
Everybody needed a break, some rest. So yeah, it's kind of different, but in all of that, they really, now it's almost like it didn't exist to them.
Yeah.
Which is not such a bad place to be. The fear that grips us all truly doesn't grip them. God has a protection for them, I think.
He does.
He gives a safe place for them to camp out in a horrible disease that they can find peace. And Mary finds peace because, hey, just what she said. Well,
what's not to love?
What's not to love,
Right.
dummy? Why are you asking me this question? This is a silly question, because it is who they are. And so, hey, that soul of man lives on. I'm just telling you. And so, yeah, it's been different, but it's been fun. So I don't know. It's just it's a different world we live in now, and it is for aging, and it is for the church world, and church is not getting to meet together, and so that faith and that I don't know, that get up and go, I think, left us a little bit. We don't we with good healthy brains probably didn't handle it as well as those who brains are failing them when they're in brain failure. So we could learn from them a lot. I learned a lot from them. I'll just say that.
I bet you have, and you continue to do so. I mean, there's not a day that goes by.
No, I learned stuff today.
Nope. And I'm currently, that's why we're doing this remotely. For about 2 weekends in a row, I was in Washington, D.C. And I forgot. I grew up not but an hour and a half from there. I forget sometimes when I go back just how fearful and how they just march to such a different kind of a beat, and there are churches that are suffering up there. But I hugged a lot of elderly and a lot of people, because you know what? This one woman I hugged on a Sunday morning, Marianne, she said, "You're the first person that's hugged me in over 2 years."
See?
And
we were made to be touched. God didn't intend for us to. That's probably one of the hardest things, is that they want to love on you. And it was my fear to hug them where they had no fear. They didn't understand when they came in that, hey, I'm back at the veranda. I can hug and do whatever. But the fear in me, but for them, they've had no human touch in a long, long time.
Yeah.
We were made to be loved on. Now, I'm just telling you, if we were made to love and extend mercy and grace, then we have to give it in order to receive it. And so when we don't get it, we
Right.
flounder. It's just terrible, terrible. But hey, the church world, I think, will have to sit up and say, hey, we've got to do better.
Yep.
And I think I sent you the the video, the Shadow of the Steeple
Yeah.
video.
Tell them about that. They need to know that. Yeah.
I have loved that old song, The Shadow of the Steeple. Rusty Goodman sang it, I don't know, 40 years ago. I don't even know how, a long time ago. And was a writer of that song. And I loved it because it talks about under the shadow of the steeple, souls are dying. Does anybody care? Can't you hear their cry? Well, I wanted to record it, and I did record it, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. And so I never did anything with it because there was a part in there that talked about suicide. And I had never known anyone that was aging with Alzheimer's that it truly tried to commit suicide. And yet, right in front of me during over COVID, a husband just said, I can't lose her again. I can't place her again in a hospital and not see her. And so he truly was contemplating getting rid of her and himself. Godliest man, helped build the church. He just was desperate. And people that love like they've loved and been married all these years. He was a veteran. All of these things. I was just shocked when I went to talk to him because they could quote every scripture.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yet they were desperate. He did not want to lose the love of his life. Mm-hmm. And so in that song now, I understood. The cold blue steel he clutches flat past and points it to the place where the shadow of the steeple is resting on his face. There he is, sitting inside there, and yet got so desperate and alone feeling that we don't know what we would do. We don't know.
No.
We don't know, and we can't say. And so we put it to a lyrical video that turned out great. And so in a couple of weeks, it's going to go out to all of the digital marketing and to the digital. And so we're going to see if it will just bring awareness to people to see what it's like. There's pictures on there of the veranda. There's pictures of loved ones have dementia. It's just sad to lose somebody twice. It is so sad to lose a loved one to dementia, and then you have to lose them in the world that they're used to, such as their church family. Right. They're non-existent much anymore. They're at home. And so I'm excited about that, because not for me, but because I want the churches to understand there are thousands upon thousands of elderly people, aging population that are sitting at home sick. And does anybody care? Can you hear their crying? The lyrics of that song just ring true.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so, I think I want to be more of an advocate now, because it is going to be me and you. I mean, if we're truly friends with each other, we want to take care of each other. I want to take care of you. You want to, things you learn, I want to know. Things I know, you want to know. We've got to figure out, if we're so much smarter now, which I have my doubts about that, than the generations before us.
I know. We have all the technology. But
exactly. This technology, but still love wins. It does win. And we've got to figure out how to reach out to the people out there underneath the steeple. Don't let the shadow of the steeple find someone dying.
So I will tell you, when it is launched, we'll definitely do a push on our end too.
Okay, thank you.
But I also want,
it isn't about me.
No.
It isn't about me. It isn't about me. And I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about those people that don't have a voice.
Right.
So I want to be their voice, but it isn't about me. Somebody has to do it. It might as well be me, I guess. I do have an office full of defense halfway up to the ceiling now. So, I just, and you have to find humor in it. You know what? I can laugh at things that families can't laugh at.
No.
And I get that. But we have to learn to laugh.
That's right. So let's talk in closing here. Let's talk about what's going to happen on November 30th, 2021.
2021 at Three Oaks Church in Gallatin. We have our annual fundraiser, our Christmas fundraiser. This is our 10th year.
Oh my.
And so it is the largest fundraiser that we have every year, and it's all Christmas music. And so Jeff and Sue are coming. We are so excited. And it's really funny because I love Karen Carpenter music. I love their Christmas project. And so when you said you're going to do a Karen Carpenter song, I just went, and so, it's all Christmas music. We have a huge silent auction. Y'all are going to be there. And then Tribute Quartet's going to be there. Riley Harrison Clark's going to be there. Juanette Turner with the Huckabee Show. Lauren Talley. Who am I missing? Jim and Melissa Brady. It's their first year to be there.
That's exciting.
And so we're just excited, and we're so glad you get to come. And then you're going to come for our Christmas party. That's really fun. We shoot each other with snowball guns. We play shoot the reindeer. It's a hoot. You'll love it.
I can't wait.
So it's a great night. It's at Three Oaks Church. The auction starts at 5, and then the concert starts at 7. And we have these really cool dessert boxes that are we've changed them up this year. They've got all hand cooked, made, whatever you want to call it, desserts in there. And they look like little Christmas gifts. So we have a wassail bar, we have a coffee bar, hot chocolate bar. It's very Christmas, and it's in the barn at Three Oaks Church. It's made to look like a real barn. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful venue. So and I'll tell
you've been working on these.
Great church, and that pastor's mother died with dementia, and hence why we're there. God worked it out, and He said, "Come use our church."
Oh man.
Yeah, so
we're so excited. Great. That is so great. And you've been making wreaths or something. You've been making for all.
Listen, wreaths, you name it, gift baskets, arrangements. I've got a big old cut on this finger, like they can see my finger. I'm just sitting here showing my finger like somebody can see it. But trust me, I've got a big cut there and a burn on. There's been times I've had really bad burns from that. But we have wreaths and flower arrangements, gift baskets, all kinds of stuff. People donate stuff. We have a great old antique rocker. I don't know how to explain it. It's low. Anyway, it was one of our clients' baby rockers. And his wife brought it to us and said, Lord, I cried and I cried and I cried. The families are appreciative, and it's a great time for the families. I wanted it all Christmas. I don't want it sad. I want it happy and fun. And we have a great time.
It's going to be a great time. And it starts what time? Is it 6 o'clock? 5 o'clock. Okay.
The auction starts at 5. The concert starts at 7.
And that's in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Gallatin, Tennessee.
Anybody can come. They don't have
Anybody can come. The tickets are on sale through the Veranda website, verandaministries.org. And I think the address, I was looking this up, it's 502 Douglas Bend. It's really easy to find. You just turn off the main road and go. It's a great church. So
I can't wait.
Plenty of parking. No stairs for us older people to fall down.
Isn't it sad? The first thing I thought today when I got out of Philadelphia airport, and they told me that I had about an hour window before I could pick up my car, and they said to me, "Well, you need to go all the way down to the section B, because if you stay down here, you're going to miss." And I'm thinking, 20 years ago, I would not even be thinking about whether or not, but I'm hauling all of my gear and going up and down steps.
I'm telling you, just don't think about. Listen, when I try on shoes now, I look at them and I go, I wouldn't have been caught dead in these shoes 20 years ago, but they don't hurt my feet.
But they're so comfortable.
I know.
Oh, well. Well, Marianne, there's nobody in the world like you, I'll tell you. And, I'm going to throw this out there. I know we've talked about this before, but you're soon really, really soon of having your own podcast. You know that, right?
I know, I'm excited.
And
I
so
think God ordained all of this
oh, there's no
because
doubt.
I wanted. I'm just telling you, but I knew nothing about it. I am illiterate. When I can talk lots of things about dementia, but when it comes to this laptop, it just scares the fire out of me. So, like, I didn't even know I'd get to see you. I thought, how am I going to sit here and not see her and talk? And here you are. So, but they can't see us. So
that's okay. The audio, and eventually it wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess. But you know what? I like to do podcasts in my pajamas. So
I know. See, that's what I said. I've been in the same clothes since 5 o'clock this morning. It's pretty rough.
You look great. And I'm going to tell my audience, you look awesome compared to me. I got my hair all stuck up in my hat. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Anyway, but listen, there's an amazing, there's an incredible blessing coming. And I really believe that. And I know it's not just because, like you say, you're not trying to get the accolades for this. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, somebody's got to speak up for these people. Somebody's got to, and you're the one. You've been, called to do that. And
it's their stories I tell. It isn't my story to tell. It's the Mary from Virginia's stories to tell.
That's right. And that's what your podcast is going to be about. It's going to be featuring the stories of people that have been just.
Yeah, they're still there. We just have to look a little.
We have to look for her. That's right. Yep. Well, thank you, Mary Ann. Thanks to everybody out there listening. And get on SueDuffield.com. Any way that you want to keep in contact with us here at Podcastville Central. At the same time, we love you all. And thanks to Mary Ann for being a part of the Subiquitous Podcast again today. Don't forget, mark down November 30th. At Three Oaks Church in Gallatin, Tennessee, the incredible Veranda Ministries Christmas Gala, I would call it, with all the amazing
carols.
Yes, indeed.
I can't believe it.
That's right. It's going to be a good one. All right. Thanks, Marianne. We'll see you next time.
All right.